Today in the show, Aston Villa drives Arsenal into financial shock by slapping a cosmic price tag on their leader. Roberto Zerbi steals a super talent right from under the noses of the sheikhs at PSG, preparing a mega deal worth $85 million. Meanwhile, London Chelsea is ready to shell out insane millions to break the goalkeeping curse once and for all. We are ready to begin, so make yourselves comfortable. Borussia Dortmund has entered the final stretch in the race for one of the brightest talents in European football. A hot insider report has emerged stating that the Black and Yellows reached an agreement in principle on personal terms with the 18-year-old Genk attacking midfielder Konstantinos Caretszas. The young Belgian himself is strictly focused on moving to Germany. However, an official announcement is still far away due to serious financial disagreements between the clubs. The negotiations are ongoing, but Genk has rejected absolutely all bids from the Germans so far. The Belgians have taken an uncompromising stance and continue to demand a crazy 35 million euros for their leader, which is insane for his age. Dortmund sporting director Ole Buch has no intention of backing down and keeps pushing in the market, as the talented midfielder is currently the absolute summer priority for BVB. Borussia is acting in their signature style, attempting to hijack a future superstar before his price tag skyrockets. Caretszas is the ideal material for the Borussia system, which excels at developing young players, and the boy understands this perfectly. However, Genk is a very tough negotiator capable of extracting massive checks. The Dortmund side will either have to significantly raise the bar of their offer closer to the desired 35 million or look for compromise options with high sell-on-sell clauses. Arsenal has fully agreed on the transfer of 31-year-old Belgian winger Leandro Trasard to Turkish Bashiktosh. The clubs have finalized the agreement on a financial package totaling 20 million euros. The Londoners will receive 18 million in guaranteed cash, with another 2 million structured as bonuses. The player himself, whose contract with the Gunners ran until 2027, has already given his definitive green light to this move immediately after Belgium's exit from the World Cup. The Istanbul side offered Leandro a luxurious contract until 2029, with an extension option and a salary of around 9 million euros per year. Trasard is expected to arrive in Istanbul this Wednesday for his medical and to sign the papers. Besiktas head coach Vincenzo Italiano personally insisted on this reinforcement, planning to make the Belgian the main leader of the attack. Trasard chose a guaranteed starting spot and cosmic financial conditions in Turkey over a joker role in London. For Arsenal, this is a highly profitable piece of business. Selling an aging player in the final stage of his contract for 20 million euros is a solid success. Mikel Arteta is deliberately trimming the squad and the wage bill to sign younger players, while Bashiktosh secures a proven master with vast Premier League experience. London Arsenal itself received a stunning response to their transfer inquiry. As reported by The Athletic, Aston Villa is ready to let their attacking midfielder Morgan Rogers go, only for a staggering sum exceeding 155 million euros. The 23-year-old Englishman is the primary summer target for Mikel Arteta, but the price tag heard has put the Gunners' management into a real stupor, so the Londoners have still not made any official offer. The Villains have absolutely no desire to sell their leader, who scored 14 goals and provided 12 assists in 55 matches last season. The Birmingham side wants to set a historic transfer record, and the final verdict will be delivered personally by the club owner Nassef Sawiris. However, behind this demand hide massive financial troubles for Aston Villa with UEFA. Recently, European officials fined the club 22.5 million euros for breaching break-even rules. Furthermore, UEFA does not count the internal tricks of the Birmingham side involving the sale of the women's team and real estate to their own owners, which passed in the Premier League. Add to this the strict squad cost ratio rule, meaning squad spending must not exceed 70% of revenues, and the forced termination of the agreement with title sponsor Betano due to the ban on advertising bookmakers in England, and the situation becomes critical. Arsenal is currently trying to lower the price through agents, as they cannot pay such crazy money right now due to the threat of violating internal Premier League financial regulations. However, Aston Villa has chosen an all-in strategy. A single massive sale of Morgan Rogers, who was bought in the winter of 2024 for just €9.4 million, is capable of wiping out all the club's financial holes before UEFA for years to come in one fell swoop. The Birmingham side is quietly holding the line. Either the Gunners complete a league record transfer, or the player stays and the money for fines will be sought through the sale of other deadwood. This transfer has reached the final stretch and received maximum confirmation. 22-year-old French midfielder Leslie Uguku will sign an official contract with Turkish Galatasaray in the very near future. The clubs have completely finalized negotiations and agreed on all legal details of the move. The financial package of this deal looks quite solid. The Istanbul side will pay English Burnley a sum for the talented midfielder that, together with bonuses, will amount to just under €30 million. Galatasaray had long been looking for a powerful and athletic destroyer in the center of the park for European competitions, so the Turkish management worked efficiently, swiftly satisfying the financial demands of the English side. Uguku is making the right strategic choice, leaving England for guaranteed playing time and the hunt for silverware. In the squad of the Istanbul giant, Leslie will hold the status of an absolute starter and the opportunity to consistently perform on the European stage, something Burnley cannot offer. For the Turkish club, landing a young former Chelsea player with Premier League experience for an amount under €30 million is a major transfer success and a quality long-term investment. London Tottenham continues its grand cannonade in the transfer market, and Roberto De Zerbi is close to securing a crazy reinforcement for his attacking line. The most important insider update of the last few hours was the definitive choice made by the 19-year-old French forward of Bournemouth, Eli Junior Kroupi. According to reputable insider Graham Bailey, the player's entourage and agents informed the management of PSG that there would be no move to Paris. Kroupi flatly refused to accept a rotation player role behind Ousmane Dembélé and other League One stars and gave full verbal consent to join Tottenham, as De Zerbi personally guaranteed him a spot in the starting 11 and a key role in his tactical system. The Spurs have already fully agreed on the financial parameters with the players' camp and are preparing an official paper proposal for Bournemouth. The sum of this mega deal is expected to reach a colossal £85 million, which will fully satisfy the management of the Cherries. De Zerbi is demanding the signing of the Frenchman so persistently for good reason. Last Premier League season, Kroupi put on a wild performance, scoring 13 goals for Bournemouth and, according to advanced statistics, becoming the most efficient young striker in the league in terms of finishing quality. The legal details of the contract are in the final stages, and the Londoners aim to wrap up this transfer by the end of the month. But the most interesting part is that Tottenham does not stop there. The club has simultaneously entered the transfer race for the 26-year-old forward of Catalan Barcelona, Ferran Torres. De Zerbi wants to add experience and maximum firepower to the squad by pairing Torres in a tandem with Kroupi. Barcelona is currently completely ready to let the Spaniard go since he is entering the final year of his contract, and the player's price tag sits at a very attractive €35 million. However, a beautiful transfer intrigue is shaping up here. Due to the failed pursuit of Kroupi, French PSG has now also urgently switched their attention to Ferran Torres. Thus, the Spurs will have to battle the Parisians for the Spanish winger as well. Chelsea has made Porto goalkeeper Diogo Costa their #1 transfer target for this summer. The Blues are currently leading PSG in the race for the talented goalkeeper, and the 26-year-old Portuguese has become the central figure in the management's grand plans for a complete overhaul of the goalkeeping department at Stamford Bridge. However, the Portuguese side has taken an extremely tough stance in the boardroom negotiations. Porto uncompromisingly demands the payment of the full release clause stipulated in the player's contract, which stands at a solid €60 million. The Londoners were not frightened by the figures heard and are already preparing concrete steps to structure this deal and finalize the transfer in the near future. The desire of Costa himself to move to England and become the absolute #1 for the Londoners plays right into Chelsea's hands. Chelsea is finally making an attempt to solve their long-standing goalkeeping problem by signing a proven, top-level performer at the peak of his form. Paying 60 million euros for one of the best goalkeepers in Europe is an entirely reasonable price in today's market, especially considering the intense pressure from PSG. The Portuguese is perfectly suited for the intense style of the Premier League, possesses colossal Champions League experience and excellent footwork, so the Blues should activate the clause as quickly as possible before the Parisians hijack the bid with their limitless finances.